Well, hello, everyone. I'm Alison Heath, the longevity rescuer, and I have a special guest with me here today, a very special guest and a good friend, somebody that I consider to be quite a conscious human being and a joy to know. So, we're going to share something with you that's very important. First off, I'd like to apologize for the camera. It's not the greatest, but you're not going to be seeing much of me anyway during this hangout. This is all about Patrick. And Patrick's got some very wonderful information to share with you, information that I can vouch for. This is something that I use myself. And Patrick Durkin, since he was a relatively young man, he earned $1 million a year. He built a huge house and he bought a Porsche, paid cash for it. And he really fell into that capitalist trap. And, you know, as he expressed to me, there are no winners because happiness really comes from the inside. And so when you're looking for it with externals, it just doesn't really fly. And his life is now dedicated to fulfilling his soul's purpose by creating a world of love and oneness. Fueled by unrelenting passion, Patrick transformed a chronic illness into wellness and vibrance that has made a vocation of playful contribution and entertaining life's infinite possibilities. I love that because to me, that's right with my life's blood as well. Patrick engages with others and the spirit of water through his creations, the Wellness Enterprise, God Self University, Water Magic 101, and the Javari water products. So Patrick, welcome. Thank you so much for being here today. And will you tell us what structured water is for anyone that doesn't know yet?
Absolutely. Structured water is water with increased energy or order. And what I didn't know when I first started learning about water is that water has energetic properties, and these have been well documented and well proven. And that we're either increasing the order and the coherence in water, or we're breaking it down. And so a great surprise to me was if you put water through a long straight pipe and it travels 300 feet in that condition, its coherence breaks down and the water becomes more chaotic. So think about it for a minute. That means pretty much all of the water that people are drinking is broken down and chaotic. So the way we restore it, the way nature restores water, is by adding order or structure. In 2013, Dr. Gerald Pollack, who is the head of the bioengineering department at the University of Washington, came out with a book called The Fourth Phase of Water. I mean, water's so common, it's everywhere. We think we know all about it, but here he is in 2013 telling us, well, yeah, there's the solid ice, and then there's the liquid water, and then there's steam, a vapor, but there's a fourth phase called exclusion zone water. And what's most interesting about exclusion zone water or structured water is that when you add energy to it, it holds the energy. And so when the water that you are made of has more energy in it, it naturally follows that you'll have more energy in it too. So it turns out, Alison, there's millions of ways to structure water. We're structuring water all the time. And you know, one of the ways that we structure things is through prayer. So that would be one that has a certain vibration and an impact. But then we can have ways that are more impactful, such as using sacred geometry or vortexing. And what I found in my study of structured water is if a water system has sacred geometry and vortexing, those are the two things that must be present for me to be interested in pursuing or consuming that water. And if it doesn't have those, that for me is a deal breaker.
I love sacred geometry in so many ways, especially for electromagnetic radiation. But tell me, how do you get structured water? How do you make it so that it has sacred geometry? Can you delve into that a little bit for us?
Yeah, not only can I delve into it, we could do a little show and tell. So I'm really excited that, you know, one of the things that you opened with is mentioning the Javari line of products. And I know it's new, so we still have to teach the marketplace what it is and how to pronounce it. And it's called Javari. This right here is a Javari Maximus, and I'm going to show it to you to help understand sacred geometry. Can you see in there?
Wow, yeah.
You see the sacred spiral that's there? And it's a little bit hard to tell with the 3D angle, but that's at the angle of a pyramid, that sacred spiral.
Show me again.
Sure. So right there, the point is, you can, maybe if I turn it sideways a little, you can see
Okay,
that.
now I can see, yeah.
Right, that it's coming out right there. So this has those measurements. Every measurement in that device is designed specifically to evoke the energy of the cosmos. It's not a haphazard thing. You know, you say you love structure, sacred geometry, and you've learned about it through your other research and things you've done. I know you're a very aware person, and I'm sure a lot of your audience has, you know, caught at least a glimpse of sacred geometry. When I was introduced to sacred geometry, the person who taught me about it showed me that nature has a pattern for the way it creates. Things aren't haphazard. It's not like a tree just unfolds in a certain geometry. There's a pattern to it. A shell, a galaxy, a pine cone, a head of broccoli. There's mathematical relationships that are in there. And those mathematical relationships can be replicated now and put into flow form devices like I just showed you, and we can allow the water to flow over it. And because water is such an extraordinary energy, it can react to that and be instantly revitalized just by passing over sacred geometry. So the way I like to say it is like sacred geometry is the energy of creation. So when we structure our water with sacred geometry, we bring that energy of creation back into it, into the water that we're consuming.
And what are the benefits?
Well, the benefits are so extraordinary. When we immerse ourselves in structured water, we essentially take a biological system, our body, that is operating on a certain type of fuel, typically chaotic water combined with things with sugar and caffeine and all of that. And we're replacing it now with the energy system that that biology was designed for. So the benefits, you know, when I didn't understand this very well, my corn grew 11.5 feet tall to show me right before my eyes, hey, we're made of the same stuff you are, and look how tall we grow when we're on structured water.
When you're talking about the corn, I got to show you this picture of the corn that I grew.
Oh, let me see.
I'd used structured water. It's really amazing.
When you start translating that into people's lives, you get to see some pretty extraordinary outcomes. Now, the physical is where a lot of people are looking. So, you know, I'll cite something that somebody shared with me that was kind of stunning because it defied what I thought was true in the physical realm. She mailed me a note card with a piece of hair on it. And the hair and the note said, my hair used to be fully gray, and now look, this is the root. It's turning back to my natural color. And so when you revitalize a system, when you give it the fuel that it was designed to run on, you just don't know what might happen. Maybe something like that. Maybe your digestion starts performing better, skin is softer, hair is thicker and fuller. But then there's a lot of other benefits that are extraordinary. Scientists at the University of Connecticut have shown a direct link between dehydration and emotional stability. And what we find is that because our water, the structured water, is softer, it starts penetrating the cells as soon as it goes into a person's mouth, and it causes greater hydration, which will bring a more even keel to their emotions. And that, to me, was one of my earlier discoveries. I noticed that with 4 kids who would go to school for the day, drink no water, and then I'd pick them up and they'd be grouchy as all can be. and I give them some water and they'd come back around. And that's how I started to notice. But the benefit that I'm most excited about, Alison, is one, I don't think we know we're looking for, but we really are looking for it. And I call that illumination. It's a glow, it's a brilliance, it's an energy field that when you have it, when a person has it, others see it and feel it, but not necessarily with their eyes. It's something that we detect, in that nanosecond when we size up a situation, we can tell the energy field of something. And when a person really immerses themselves in structured water, the way I have and the way so many of our customers have, the pineal gland opens, infinite creativity expands, life takes on a multi-dimensional experience. It becomes a multi-dimensional experience. I used to be afraid of public speaking, and now, I know that water's got my back, right? All I have to do is keep myself clear, get my rest and drink enough water, take care of the basics, and then show up and be present and listen for what wants to be said and say it. And that to me is so liberating compared to the fear that I used to live with. So illumination is the thing that I think is the most extraordinary benefit.
No kidding. And water is so important, and we are running out of it in certain areas and so on. So we are headed for some water crises and so on. I love structuring water. Like this water that I'm drinking here, I drink it liter jars of it. So it's structured with your device. And I'm also, doing other things too. I'm using shungite, and I'm using a beamer machine and so on, and giving it the Earth's resonance. So we can't get enough good water. But tell me, does everybody feel it?
No. I wish I could say that everybody does. Now, we have the extraordinary examples. One of my favorites was I set up an online store in my internet business, and my first order came in, and it was for Gisele Bündchen and Tom Brady, the quarterback of the New England Patriots and the Victoria's Secret supermodel. And I thought, how on earth did I get that order? And I learned a few weeks later that one of the people who has one of my water devices is a massage therapist. And he went to give Gisele a massage, and he poured her a sip of the water. She took one sip and bought 2 devices immediately. So that is, perfection, right? Somebody who's really sensitive to energy and feels it on one sip. Now, other people do not experience it right up front, and they will engage with me. One of the things that's really important to me is I see people in our consumerism-based world buy things and not use them. And I do not want to be a part of that. And so when somebody buys a structured water device from me, they received a very heartfelt gift. It's my course. It's called Water Magic 101. And there's a portal for Water Magic where people go in and they experience lessons. And those lessons help them to see the science and the different stories and the videos that illuminate structured water. And what I find is as the mind starts to see the proof, then the discernment starts to come with it. So, one of the reasons I created the course is when I bought my first device, I didn't feel anything for a couple of months. In fact, I would say I went about 4 months before I really began to feel anything. And so I stay interactive with people, and not everybody's going to take that long to feel it. But if somebody feels it at a week or a day, it doesn't really matter, because I like to say at the Wellness Enterprise, we give unlimited loving customer support. And what that means is we want everybody to have the experiences. And I've noticed that for the people who we get a very, very small return rate. It's less than 1%. And one of the things that I ask for anybody that's not feeling it is call me. I'll take your call personally. I'll engage with you about what's happening in your life. And I'll see if from my listening of thousands of discussions like that, there's some tip I can give you from somebody else's experience that might make the difference so you can feel it. because I know the energy of the water's there. The question is, can everybody feel it? And my dedication is just to stay with it until they do.
Well, do you even need to feel it? Just knowing it's good for you is something worthwhile. Just keeping it up, just using structured water because it's good for you. And a lot of my listening audience or viewing audience, they are very sensitive, highly sensitive. Some of them have multiple chemical issues that they're facing, sensitivities, as well as electromagnetic hypersensitivity. So this is, canaries in the coal mine. This is really making it very, very obvious. So when you do start getting structured water into your body, things really do start changing. Do you find that you need to filter your water for chlorine and fluoride and things like that?
I don't. I used to give talks at my local library and tell people, hey, there are these chemicals in your water, and it's really important that you filter for them. And I found after giving that talk a bunch of times that it was really fear-based. And so I was open to receiving information that would help me understand a different truth about that. And I came to understand through physics rather than through chemistry that when we structure water, the hydrogen bond angles in the water change. And when the bond angles change, the properties change. A similar example would be if you look at what carbon can be made into. Carbon as chemistry is the building block of coal or graphite and diamonds. And so it can have very different properties depending on how it's bonded together. Well, the same is true of water. It can look like water, like we think we know what that is, but in actuality, there's billions of reactions happening per second in water molecules, and these hydrogen bond angles are changing constantly. So when the hydrogen bond angles are changed through sacred geometry and vortexing, they neutralize all toxins. And so no, I don't filter at all.
It's sort of interesting. I do. I filter, but I want the cleanest possible, and if I can get spring water, from wild springs and so on, that's what I'm doing. Hey, I have like this white portable ceramic water structure device from you. And now you have these really cool blue ones. Will you show us what those look like?
Yeah, I'd be happy to. So things have changed a lot in the last 6 months, and it's fulfilled a vision that I've had for a couple of years, which is to offer people products that are not only convenient and durable, but they're also beautiful and they fit into their lifestyles. So this right here is the world's most popular water structuring device. You pour water from a faucet into the built-in funnel right up here, and the water comes out through the bottom. And for those that don't know, this is the blue version of what Alison has. Alison has a white version of this. Now, color healing is really important. The journey to sacred geometry opened the door to that colors make a difference and sound makes such a difference. And I've learned that this blue is associated with the throat chakra and with subtle energies. And so if someone wants to expand their discernment of subtle energies, this is a great way to do it. It's not a coincidence that the bottle that I'm drinking out of is also a cobalt blue bottle, and that it has sacred geometry on it, right? So I try and include these elements wherever I can. So I think the blue was a really great addition. What I've noticed from people is that it seems to have a compelling aspect to it. Like people just really want to be around this device. Now, the new development that just came out a couple of months ago is that a shower head in cobalt blue was added. So this hooks onto the pipe and then the water comes out below. Now, prior to this product coming out, I didn't use a shower head in my shower. I just let the water come straight out of a structuring device in a very thick stream. But when I heard about this, I got one and I put it on, and I like it so much that I've kept it on, and it's become my preference because it's just a really thick, full stream. Now, Alison, at some point people are going to be watching this, and I want to say that I have a limited supply of these that I bought when they came out initially. And why that's important is they'll always be available. But while I have this limited supply, if somebody buys one of these, I'm going to give them one of these as a bonus.
Wow.
Right? So it used to be to get structuring water for both your skin and your drinking would be like $798. And then when this came out at $249, it lowered to $648. But then when I got the bonus, I can actually sell both of these together for $399.
That's amazing.
It's
Great.
It's extraordinary. And I do want people to know, like, for real, as long as I have them, we'll keep doing it. It'll be a couple months, but once that offer's gone, I'll do whatever's best and put it on the same page and the same link. But that shower head may not be available in the future, just so people know.
Okay, I'm going to send this out right away, as soon as I can.
Okay, good. I've definitely got enough to last for the coming weeks. So we'll be good for a little bit here. And then, Alison, this is another new product. Now, this is debuting. Its first video is this one. Right here, right now. This is called the Javari Maximus, and it's a whole house structuring device. Now, in the past, I've sold this white one, which allows the water to pass through. These two products come from the same family. This is a fantastic product for durability and convenience, and it has the two most important things in water structuring. It has sacred geometry and vortexing. So it's fantastic. And it's never going to be obsolete. It has a lifetime warranty, and I want anybody that has it or thinks about buying it, this is a great product. And I want to tell you why it's been my dream to bring this forth. So along the journey, people would say, well, how come your device is made of plastic? And I would say, because that's the best available product in the marketplace, and I'm always going to tell you what's best available in the marketplace. It's what it is. And then I discovered this, and this is made with 10 different gems. Now, I have an exclusive with the inventor, and the inventor is beyond reluctant to tell the world about his secret sauce. So there's 10 gems in there, and he wanted to tell me about none of them, and I wanted to know about all 10. We agreed on 4. So I got to learn what 4 of them are. So Alison, you probably know, and your listeners probably know, the importance of crystals and how pure they are, just what a pure energy a crystal is. And then there's rose quartz, which is an amazing amplifier. I think of rose quartz and love together. I guess that's because I have a heart-shaped rose quartz next to my bed. And then you mentioned already on this call that you use shungite. Well, there's shungite in here. And then the 4th one, which I knew nothing about when I learned about it, is called EM ceramics, for essential microorganisms ceramics. And this was a dream of a Japanese man who worked with soil. And his thought was, we can revitalize soil. And the way we need to do that is we need to introduce healthy bacteria, and one's waste has to be another's food source, so that they can create a relationship where they can just go round and round. That was in the early 1980s. Today, there are 54 factories around the world that make these EM products, and one of them is these EM ceramics. So it's a detoxifier, and we're able to put it inside of these devices. So we have these 10 gems, and we have all these measures of sacred geometry, including the same angles as the Pyramid of Giza. And then we have some really highly charged water at the center. So in my home, I have one of these installed. I installed it, it's been 5 months now. And at the time that I installed it, I had a shower device, 2 garden devices, a sink device, and multiple portables and inventory in my home. But I didn't have a whole house. And so I decided to install this. What happened in my life in the months afterwards has just been extraordinary. It started with It was installed on a Thursday around noon. Saturday morning, I woke up and I was completely inspired and clear. And I knew I had to change about 40% of my house. So I carried everything that I wasn't sure about outside, and I rearranged about 40% of the house, only bringing back in that which serves me. And so, as an example, I've gone from having an office that feels like a rectangle with like different squares in it, you know, like not particularly well decorated, to multiple layers of support and harmony. The energy in here was so uplifted on Sunday night when I finished that project. I finished at like 10 o'clock, and I just came in. I had a new couch in my office for the first time. I came in, I sat down on the couch, and I didn't really move or think for about 45 minutes. I was just there. And my first 3 days of work afterwards, I took naps on the couch in the office during the day, because I think in retrospect, what I was doing is I was trying to bring my energy level up to come into alignment with the harmony of the space that I just created. Since then, I've added a new health coach. I've added new practices that have me opening my pineal gland even more. I have new meditations, new strength and confidence and courage, walking the earth as who I really am and not worrying so much about what people think about me and what other people are doing, which is a real gift. So I consider this one of the most extraordinary developments I've ever had. And I'm delighted to finally be bringing it to the market and telling people about it.
So it's the whole house. Are there any portable devices or any other shower heads or anything like that that people can get?
Yeah, there is actually a portable device. It's about, hang on one sec.
Okay, excellent. This is so great. You know, with crystals in it. I mean, oh my God, and shungite. I just want to share with you a story quickly. I put, what was it, amethyst. I put amethyst crystals into one of my water filters. And you know how they sort of gum up on the side? They get sort of like a filmy stuff on the side. It never did. It just stayed crystalline clear. It was so interesting, you know. And same thing with shungite in the water and so on. So this has shungite, rose quartz, crystals,
Yep.
and other things.
Yep. And they're beautiful. So this is the portable device. It's just, you know, here's my fist. It's not very big. And this is, so I just want to compare these for a second. So this is really convenient and durable. It has a lifetime warranty. I put it in the back pocket of my jeans. I carry it on planes. It's like, it is a really useful, fits into a lifestyle device. It's awesome. And, you know, it's the most popular structured water device on the planet. This takes a little more mindfulness. Now, I have a customer who lives in a castle, and her castle's open to the public. And because of that, she has certain responsibilities, including a very clear measurement of her water. And she also has the resources to have similar type of measurement of her own health. So, you know, she's dialed in on her mineral supplements, and she knows that there are none, this is the first time I've ever heard of this, no toxins whatsoever in the water that comes from the well on her property. She has, as she describes, hectares and hectares of land with 800-year-old trees, and then beyond her land is organic farms for farther than the eye can see. So it's extraordinary. She was one of the first customers to get one of these. And what she said is that it definitely improved her hydration levels because she has them measured regularly, and that it was definitely softer than the water she was getting from this technology. And she really appreciated it. She's referred a bunch of her friends, and they've been buying it now. They've been among my first customers. So it's a very fine device, and it does take a little more mindfulness. It is convenient to travel with because it's so small, but one would want to either carry it in a little bag that we have with it, or, perhaps just, make sure to have a purse or a bag or a place to consciously carry it, because it's got very fine stuff inside of it.
Okay. Where can people find it?
So I'm going to give you a link to the best offers that we have, because I've now, the suppliers in the industry know who I am. And so when I say I want a lot of these so I can give them away with these for a few months, I'm able to work out a deal like that. And so whatever deal I'm able to best work out is what I'm going to put on the page that you have a link to. If you want something for a sink, or you want something for a shower, or you're wondering where this is, on the page that Alison's going to give you a link to will help you with anything that you're interested in, and to make the best choice.
I love the fact that you've got a really high-end model with the gems in it and so on, and metal, as well as that durable plastic version, which I have just been loving.
Yeah, I think it's pretty extraordinary, Alison. I think the perfect combo, if one is going to do just structuring, no filtering, you put this on the house. And right now, if you buy this for your house, I'll give you both of these for free.
Wow.
$648 in bonuses, right? And why do I do that? Is because I want people to be completely taken care of. So if they get the whole house in their home, and then they have these two, whenever they travel, they've got their skin covered with the shower head, and they've got their drinking water covered with the portable.
What do you mean? They would travel with the shower head?
Absolutely. You can just unscrew this totally easily, take it off your shower, and take it with you. Totally easy.
Wow. You don't have to carry Teflon tape or something for the leaking in the hotel room or something?
It's probably not a bad idea to have that tape. I haven't carried any with me. I just have used it, and I've been successful. But a little thing of that white tape, the plumber's tape, as it's sometimes called, would be a good thing to add if one was traveling with it regularly. I imagine at some point I'll probably go to put it on somewhere and I won't get a perfect seal. But when we ship them, we're not shipping them with any tape. And we've shipped hundreds of them now, and I haven't been getting complaints or comments about that. So I think it's pretty much a non-issue.
Yep, and there's no filter to change. So that's something to really be aware of, because, it doesn't matter what kind of water filtration system you're using, the filters cost a lot of money, and that's an ongoing expenditure. Whereas with this, it's just is.
That's exactly right, Alison. And that's why, these three things together are, to me, the perfect system, because it's durability and convenience in the travel and the highest vibration for home. Now, some people have shown me, even though it's my preference that we just energize or structure or revitalize the water using sacred geometry and vortexing, that they're going to want a filter. So I've worked with a manufacturer to create a system. It's a 3-in-1 system. First it filters, then it mineralizes, and then it energizes.
Nice.
It does all 3-in-1 on the countertop. It's sleek, it's beautiful, and it has some extraordinary advantages that regular filters don't have. I wasn't going to just recommend any filter. So, for example, one of the things people have been, I'll take a step backwards. In the world of traditional filtration, there's the basics that everybody does. You have like a carbon or a charcoal filter. There's certain things like chlorine. Every filter can remove chlorine. So you don't really need to make a claim about chlorine. Everybody does chlorine. But what almost nobody does is remove pharmaceutical residue. And those that remove pharmaceutical residue, I'm only aware of one that has a laboratory tested proof for over 99% removal. And that's the filter that's in the system. I'm not aware of any other filter in the world that removes DDT, that awful spray pesticide that was used in the 1960s in agriculture. DDT is over 99% removed by this filter. So It does the basic stuff, and then it's got some extraordinary properties as well. It's a great, great filter, and it lasts for 10,000 liters or 2,600 gallons. So you just look at, well, how many gallons a day are being poured from the device? Most homes, 1 or 2. If it's 1 gallon, your filter could last upwards of 7 or 8 years. And if it's 2 gallons, you're talking 3 or 4 years. So it's a really great thing. It's not going to be creating a lot of waste for landfills and a lot of people having to pay attention to it and make changes. It just, you put it in, you leave it on your counter, and it's great. And when it stops working, you can tell because the flow diminishes. I like that when something's not contrived, like replace this in 6 months because we want you to buy another one. It's more like, hey, this thing will last a really long time, and when it stops doing its job properly, you'll know because there'll be diminished flow. Same thing with the mineral cartridge. It lasts for 2,600 gallons, 10,000 liters, and you, being as educated as you are, you'll know this is great. It's got the calcium and the magnesium, of course, but it has over 70 trace minerals in it as well. So those micronutrients that we really need for our health are added to the water, and then it is energized with one of these. And so it is just a really high quality system. And I've put that on the link too. So people can choose, yeah, just want to energize, or I want to energize and I want to filter and mineralize. If so, you get the countertop system and you have it all. And when you buy it all, I call that the Illuminate bundle, right? That's the bundle. It comes with a couple of these cobalt blue bottles. It comes with a little container of minerals for when you're on the road and don't have your countertop system. It comes with some hyaluronic serum for hydrating the skin. It's a full package, our Illuminate bundle. Has everything a person would need.
I love it. I absolutely love it. Well, I want to thank you very, very much. And, thank you to everybody. Make the quality of your life wonderful. And Patrick has really got your water covered for you. So I think this is just wonderful. Thank you, Patrick. Thank you very, very much for your time.
Thank you so much for getting the word out. And, I would like to add one thing. So, this for me is like it's a calling. It's my life's purpose. And what I really care about is humanity. I care how we are with one another. And we've lost track of basics. And one of the basic, most fundamental things in life is our relationship with water. And we've been taking it for granted, and we just don't culturally or globally have much of an awareness that there's chaotic water and coherent water. And so my invitation to all of us is, we have all this complicated and confusing information in the world. What if we just take responsibility for our own selves and we say, the water in and around my home, my loved ones, my family is going to be coherent. And we're going to see what difference does it make when I radiate coherence in the world. And as more and more of us do that, what I perceive is a very loving and joyous experience coming our way.
Oh, thank you so much. That's something to look forward to. And it is, the tipping point will be reached. So thank you very much. And thank you, everyone. And, wishing you the best year yet.